Okay, the next card we're going to talk about in the Major Arcana series here is the Hanged Man. I love this card and I love this energy. So if you are interested in learning all about the cards of the tarot, or maybe even learning to read for others, learn the 5 ways and 5 tips and tricks that I can show you that you can read any spread, and click on the link below in the description, and you can join my tarot reading course, my astrology course, get an astrology chart and report, even a tarot reading, whatever you want, it's in there. But if you love these types of videos, if you love the tarot, please like and subscribe to this channel. And I'll bring more of this content as I go through my tarot series for the Major Arcana. So let's get back to the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man here is shown hanging. And what I love about this energy is this really talks about, when it comes up in readings, if you haven't had readings with me, I believe the Major Arcana are messages from your spirit guides or guardian angels, whatever you choose to believe in, and they're always for your best and greater good, even if some of the cards may look scary, but they're really warnings. What the Hanged Man really talks about is this feeling like torn between two different worlds, and it can kind of leave you feeling alone or isolated because you're feeling pulled in two different directions. Most of the times, if you've taken in my courses, that the tarot is really a journey, how we navigate our way through the earthly world to get on the spiritual plane and make sure we accomplish what we meant to do coming into this life and connect with our true self and our higher purpose. And that's many times in readings, that's where the Hangman kind of signals when he comes in there, which really signals like feeling torn between two worlds. Oftentimes it shows up in readings, it's like, well, this is what I feel like I should be doing, and if I really just take on the earthly plane and what I should be doing and what they value and what people tell me I should be doing with my life, or the type of careers, professions, relationships, whatever it may be, you feel this pull between like, well, these are the practical things I feel like I should be doing, and almost the spiritual pull, especially if you're many people who come to readings who are on a spiritual journey, they would say, I feel this pull to do something different or something more or something else, and I feel like it's taking me in a different direction than almost everything else I've had set up. And for many people, if they've gone on this journey for a long time before starting their spiritual journey, they really feel like, well, I'd have to abandon and leave behind so much stuff that I felt like I've built, that the pain of doing that to jump to something else is very painful. That's why I feel this, kind of pulled in different directions. But they really feel like they're being pulled towards this spiritual calling, spiritual journey, hopefully better alignment with what they're meant to do in this life. Now, what I love about some of the imagery of this card is what fits perfectly is this shows someone being hung upside down. This is actually, the imagery comes from old school military, most commonly in earlier traditional decks, the Italian military uniform is used, and this talks about how they would hang a deserter in military times. So if someone wants to abandon the military or doesn't want to fight in the wars anymore, whatever was going on, this is how they would hang the person to show that they're almost a traitor to the cause. And in many cases, that's almost what it can feel like, because oftentimes, in order to feel more connected with our spiritual path, our spiritual mission, or where we're going, it feels like we have to go against the grain of what's going on in the earthly plane. So whatever most practical, or whatever expectations other people have for you, whatever it may be, in order to break free from that and feel like you feel more connected to your spiritual journey, you almost have to go against the grain. In many cases, or myself, if you come through a scientific lens of all this, and you really feel this calling towards this deep spiritual, more connected understanding, it feels like a lot of what you have to believe or jump into, or really where you want to go, feels like it goes against the grain of almost the institutional learning or things that have been ingrained into you, whether it's through your parents, your education, your religious beliefs, how you were raised, whatever the case may be. In order to connect with your true spiritual path, feels like you have to go against the grain and almost feel like betray all of that practical earthly world experience, whatever you come to this point. But the draw and the pull and the allure of feeling so connected to really your true spiritual mission and what you're meant to do, like a deeper gut level. And that's why it still becomes a very difficult feeling to be pulled in different directions, because you may say, it depends on what age, what they call midlife crisis, mid-spiritual crisis, whatever age that occurs. You said, well, I've got all these years banked on this specific journey, building a specific life towards this goal, and I want to give it all up for this other journey, where I have nothing to show for yet. I don't even know where I'm going. However, I feel such, however, it resonates with me so deep and so in my spirit and my emotions and my gut that that becomes an equal weighting. It's like, my last 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it is for you of where I've been versus whatever couple months of your spiritual journey, if you finally feel connected to what your mission and your vision, what you're really meant to do and accomplish in this life. And since everyone, I believe, wants to eventually feel like they are connected to their true purpose and calling in this life so they can live a true and authentic life, that is a lot of the energy that the hangman brings to you, to give you the acknowledge the tension that you're feeling between what might be your past life and your future life of what you want to do. But saying a lot of times, if you really want to get to go where you're going, it may have to go against the grain to either what you have previously done, and whether a lot of times when people come to me for readings, what they've previously done is, someone out in hindsight, you felt like you were making the choices all along, but someone else's expectations for what career, what profession, where you should live, who you should marry, how you should act, whatever the case may be. When you start to question those, you say, well, are those really the right values? Do I really feel in alignment with those? Or were those put there by someone else for the best purposes? Or I believe everyone, hopefully your friends and family, try to give you advice and direct you in whatever they believe is the best for you. But once you really feel connected with yourself in a spiritual way, whether that's through meditation, yoga, whatever it is for you, then you can really start to question, well, who put those beliefs and those values there? And have I really been living my life for someone else? And what does it look like to leave that behind and go on my own journey and live the life for myself if I feel fully connected to it? That's what a lot of the hangman energy brings to you. That's why I love this card so much and love the energy that comes from it. And I really enjoy when it comes up in lots of tarot readings. Usually it comes up either, people ask like, what am I meant to do? What's my true path, my calling? Or I'm feeling, I'm feeling this negative energy about my current life path or career or situation that I'm in, and I don't know why. But how can I connect with my true higher self? That's a lot of times when the hangman shows up and kind of shows you the way of how acknowledging that you do feel pulled in different directions, but in order to break free and serve yourself and go on your own spiritual journey, you may have to leave behind the expectations of others on the earthly plane, and that may mean going against the grain, rubbing people wrong, or they may actually try to shame you and bring you back in. Shame is a whole nother topic we can get into, by saying, oh, look at you, you're betraying us, you're betraying everything you've done. You're going to feel all that Saturn kind of negative energy pulling at you, saying, why are you betraying us? Why are you going off on your own? When in reality, everyone's meant to have their own path, their own journey, and we should respect everyone's path and everyone's journey for itself and help support each other rather than tear everyone down. One thing I always talk about in my spiritual mindfulness stuff is you are going to be your own worst enemy and your own greatest barrier towards accomplishing what you want in life. So why would we allow anyone else to become an additional barrier to our own brain, our own spiritual challenges that we have within ourselves? And conversely, why would you want to be a barrier to someone else's path or someone else's journey if you know how hard it is to get connected with your own path, your own journey, and feel like you're truly living your authentic self? So that is why I love the hangman energy. If you want to dive into this a little bit more, watch the other videos, like and subscribe to this channel, and then click on the link below in the description if you want to join the full tarot reading class, learn about all the cards in the tarot and how you can read tarot for yourself.